What's up, guys? In this video, I want to go over how to graph a quadratic equation fast. So if you're taking a test or a quiz, you're not going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what your graph looks like. In my opinion, there's two different ways that we can graph a quadratic fast, and both of those ways I'm going to go through with you in this video. Those two ways are going to be the intercept method as well as using the vertex method. But we're going to get a quadratic that's going to be what we call in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And before we get into either method to be able to graph the quadratic fast, we need to understand one important thing. And that one important thing is going to be the opening. See, the quadratic graph is what we call the U-shaped graph, right? It's going to either look like this or it's going to look like this. So when I'm talking about the opening, I'm kind of talking about like where the graph, as you can see, kind of opens up here on the left hand or opens down, right? So it's kind of opening down. Think of like it either holds water or it doesn't hold water. So if the quadratic equation is going to be what we call opening up, that means my a, which is the coefficient of my quadratic term, my x squared, has to be greater than 0. Just think of any positive number. It doesn't matter if it's a fraction or an integer. If my graph is going to be opening down, then we're going to say that number has to be a negative, right? And again, it doesn't matter if it's a fraction or an integer, like -2 or 7 or -7. All those graphs we know are going to be opening down. So before I get into any problems or any techniques, I always want to be able to determine my opening first. Then after I determine my opening, I can be able to determine, should I use my intercept method or should I use my vertex method? So typically I always like to use the intercept method first because it's rather quick and easy to be able to do. So let's go and take a look at our first equation. If I had y equals ax squared plus 4x plus 1. Now, in this problem, when we're using the intercept method, what we have to have is a problem that is going to be factorable. And so what we need to do is look at the last two numbers and see, all right, what two numbers multiply to give me a +1 and add to give me a 4? In this case, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to work, right? This problem is not going to be factorable across all real rational numbers. So therefore, I'll go to the next method, which is going to be using the vertex method, which for a lot of problems is going to be rather quick and easy. However, there are some problems that I would say sometimes can go against that. So you want to kind of be aware of what you're looking at. You can still do it, just like you can use the quadratic formula for any quadratic. You can use completing the square for any quadratic. So even though the difficulty and the time might not be able to be done fast, you can still work through it to be able to get the result that you are looking for if it is just to graph the quadratic. But let's go through what I want to look for if I need to graph something quickly using this vertex method. If I'm going to graph this in vertex method, I need to convert this in standard form to what we call our vertex form, which would look something like this, okay? So the A still represents the A, but now I'm going to have my H and my K, which are going to represent my vertex. That is going to be the either minimum or maximum point of my quadratic. Now, a couple things that I look at for completing the square. First, I want my middle term to be even, and you'll see that as I go through the process of completing the square. And I do not want a coefficient for my x squared. Now, technically I have a coefficient here and it's actually a +1. So I know my graph is going to be opening up, right? That's the first thing I'm always looking at. So if I'm going to go ahead and graph this, well, before we even get into graphing or doing the method, I know that this graph opens up, right? So I'm just going to do a little arrow here. I already determined it. I'm just going to write it down on my graph. Now let's go through the process of using the vertex form or converting our quadratic from standard form to vertex form. And we're going to use a process called completing the square. Now, if you want a little bit more detailed explanation of completing the square, then I'll make sure I link down some videos down below that you can go ahead and follow. I probably have more videos on completing the square than anybody on the internet. I have a lot of videos, so make sure you check them out. It is a process that can be confusing for students, but I'm here to tell you, the more practice you do with completing the square, the easier and easier it will become. So I'm going to work through this fast because that's what I wanted to kind of go through with you on how to be able to graph a quadratic fast. And it's always helpful when you have an equation that is in simple form like this, when you have something that is even and you have no coefficient for your x squared. So to complete the square, what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to create a perfect square trinomial. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus here on creating a perfect square trinomial inside those parentheses. To do that, I'm going to take my middle term, divide it by 2, and square it. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So now I'm going to have, I don't know, I thought I changed my color. Let's go back to blue. So now I'll have a y equals an x squared plus a 4x plus 4 But then remember, if you just can't like randomly add 4 on one side of the equation, I'm going to have to subtract 4, and then I still have my 1 here, right? Don't forget about that. Now, these red parentheses didn't go anywhere. That's very important because that is going to be the grouping here of this quadratic, which now we created a perfect square trinomial, which now we know, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a binomial squared. So when we factor this down, it creates a binomial squared. That's very, very important because that is exactly what we're looking for in our vertex form. So x squared plus 4x plus 4 can be factored down into an x plus 2 quantity squared, and negative 4 plus 3 is going to be a negative 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have my vertex, right? So understanding your vertex form, these are what we call our h and our k. But notice it's x minus h, right? And it's plus k. So a lot of students will get confused here when you're like, well, it's plus 2 and minus 3. So here's a couple ways you can think about rewriting this. And again, this is just a little bit elementary for some of you guys, if you already understand this, but I just wanted to kind of represent it or kind of let you see it in a different way because it can be confusing for a lot of students. The plus 2 can be same thing as x minus a negative 2, okay, right? Because we want it as x minus 2. And then the minus 3 can be the same thing as plus negative 3. The reason why this is important is because this tells me my h is a negative 2, which is the horizontal coordinate of my vertex, and my k, which is the vertical coordinate of my vertex, is at negative 3. So I go down to negative 2 and then down to negative 3. I already know my graph opens up. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Now, obviously, if I wasn't explaining everything through this video, you'd be able to see you could actually graph that very, very quickly. You can do this math, 4 divided by 2, 2 squared, add 4, subtract 4, factor it, get the vertex, boom, go ahead and graph very, very quickly. Now, let's go and take a look at another problem. What if I had an equation that looks like this? So a negative 2x squared plus a 3x and then plus 2. Now, in this example, you might be looking and say, well, let's go into that vertex method. But there's a couple of problems here. One, my middle term is not even. So therefore, dividing by 2 and squaring it is going to create a fraction. And that is not something that is going to be fun to do. The next thing is going to be, I have a coefficient for my x squared. So the process for completing the square, we always have to factor out that coefficient. We cannot complete the square with the coefficient for x squared. So not only will we have to factor out the negative 2 and then divide that by 2, which is going to be dealing with a fraction, this might be a little bit more work than I want to do. Now, again, can you do it? Absolutely. But if you want to be able to do things fast, I would not try to approach this using the vertex method or rewriting this by completing the square into vertex form. What I would want to do is say, hey, can I go ahead and factor this quickly by using the intercept method? So how do we do the intercept method? Well, the intercept method works when you have something that is going to be factorable. Now, I know a lot of students will look at this problem and be like, oh my God, this problem has, let me see. Like, oh my God, this problem has a negative and it has a coefficient. I don't know how to factor this. Well, let's stay with me, okay? So the first thing, whenever I want to do is factor. And if I have a negative here, I want to get rid of that negative. Now, this is important because I see a negative, right? So what do I know about this negative? I know now this graph is going to open down, right? So I'll just draw a little arrow, have it pointing down. Let's go ahead and factor out the negative. That's going to leave me with a 2x minus a 3x minus a 2. Okay, now we know when we're needing to factor a quadratic trinomial, we know it can be broken down into a product of 2 binomials. Now, the nice thing is we have a 2 here, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, there's not that many options. And again, just like completing the square gets easier with the more practice you do, ladies and gentlemen, factoring gets so much easier the more examples you can do. So, automatically, by looking at this quadratic, I know the first 2 terms of my factored form is going to be 2x and x, because 2x times x is going to give me a 2x squared. Now, I have options here for negative 2, right? I could put a negative 2 here. I could put a negative 2 here. I could put a, one has to be negative, one has to be positive. I could put a positive 1 here, positive 1 here. So I got to think of what combinations of my inner and my outer is going to give me a negative 3. And immediately it dawns on me, well, if I put a negative 2 here, that gives me a negative 4. And if I put a positive 1 here, that's going to give me a positive 1. Positive 1 plus negative 4 is going to give me a negative 3. That's exactly what I'm looking for to identify my middle term. Now, once you have it in factored form, what the intercept form tells us is we're not going to be able to identify the vertex like in vertex form. That's what vertex form is nice for. You can quickly identify the vertex, either the max or the min, and you can identify the opening. The intercept method is going to identify where is the graph crossing the x-axis. It will still give you the same shape of the graph. It's not going to give you the vertex though, so a little bit of a caveat. So to identify this, where the graph crosses at y is equal to 0, we're going to replace y with 0. So I have 0 equals a negative 2x plus 1 times an x minus 2. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really need this negative anymore because you could just divide by a negative on both sides, right? So we don't really care for that negative. All that negative is really telling us is going to be that opening. So now I have a product equal to 0. Therefore, I can use the 0 product property. Good. So I'm talking like I'm asking. So I have a 2x plus 1 is equal to 0 and an x minus 2 is equal to 0. I kind of feel like that would be something very common if I was like teaching inside a classroom. I would expect for some comments back, but maybe you can just type them down and add it below. Thank you. I appreciate it. So go ahead and solve them for x here. I get x equals a negative 1/2 and x equals 2. So now I can go to positive 2 and to negative 1/2. And then I know that's where the graph is going to cross. I know it has to open down. So it's going to look something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, those are going to be the two quickest ways that I have found to be able to graph a quadratic fast. But again, they have their pluses and their minuses. This gives you the vertex, this doesn't. This gives you the intercepts, this doesn't. And while you can use both kind of techniques interchangeably, it really does depend on what equation you have, because the reality is not all quadratics can be graphed quickly. So that's why it's also very important to know how to use the table method to be able to graph a quadratic. So if you want to check out more videos of me graphing or solving quadratics, then go and check out the videos and playlists I have for you down below. Or if you just like learning math fast, then check out the next video I have for you here. Cheers.